Hello, and welcome to today's episode of the SpeakEasy English podcast. I'm so happy to have you here with me. Whether you're walking, relaxing at home, or maybe on your way to work or school, thank you for choosing to spend this time with me. My name is Sarah, and I've been helping English learners just like you for many years. I've worked with people from all around the world, and I've seen how challenging and also how exciting the English learning journey can be. Now, if you've ever felt like learning English is just too hard, or like you're not making progress no matter how much you study, then today's episode is exactly what you need. You are not alone. So many learners feel stuck or frustrated at some point. But here's the good news. Learning English doesn't have to feel like a struggle every day. It doesn't have to be boring, stressful, or something you force yourself to do. In fact, it can be enjoyable, relaxing, and even fun. Today, we're going to talk about something I call effortless English learning. That's right, effortless. You might be thinking, wait, is that really possible? And I'm here to tell you, yes, it is. It all comes down to how you approach your learning. You don't need to spend hours memorizing vocabulary or stressing over grammar rules. Instead, you can make small changes to your daily routine that help you improve your English naturally, without pressure. So in this episode, I'll share with you some of my favorite tips to help you learn English in a way that feels easy and enjoyable. Whether you're a beginner or already have some experience, I promise you'll find something helpful today. So grab a cup of tea, get comfortable, and let's explore how to make English learning effortless and even a little bit magical right here on SpeakEasy English. So, what do we really mean when we say effortless English? It might sound like a dream, like something too good to be true, but I promise you, it's very real, and it's something you can experience in your own English journey. Let's break it down. Effortless English doesn't mean zero effort. It doesn't mean you'll magically become fluent without doing anything. What it does mean is that the way you learn English should feel natural, enjoyable, and smooth, not stressful, boring, or painful. It's about creating a learning routine that fits into your everyday life, something you look forward to doing, rather than something that feels like a chore. Now, let's compare this idea to traditional learning methods. Many of us were taught that learning a language means opening a textbook, memorizing long vocabulary lists, studying grammar rules for hours, and completing endless exercises. And while these methods can be useful in some situations, they often feel slow, frustrating, and disconnected from real-life communication. Think about it. You could spend hours studying grammar, but still feel nervous when trying to have a simple conversation in English. Why? Because traditional methods often focus too much on rules and not enough on practice, on the actual using of the language. They don't help you feel comfortable thinking and speaking in English, especially in real-world situations. Effortless English is the opposite of that. It's about learning the way native speakers learn their first language, through listening, speaking, and using the language in daily life. You weren't born reading grammar books or doing worksheets, right? You listened, observed, repeated, and slowly started speaking. This is the natural way, and you can apply the same method to learning English. Effortless English means listening to content you enjoy, like podcasts, YouTube videos, music, or audiobooks. Speaking without fear of mistakes. Picking up new vocabulary from context, not flashcards. Practicing English in small, consistent ways throughout your day. creating an environment around you where English is a natural part of your life. For example, imagine listening to a short English podcast while you cook dinner. You're not sitting at a desk, you're not writing down notes, you're just living your life, and English is flowing into your ears. Or maybe you're watching a funny English clip on YouTube with subtitles. You laugh, you repeat a few lines, you enjoy the moment, and boom, you've just practiced without even realizing it. That's the beauty of effortless learning. You don't force yourself to learn. You invite English into your life. You make it part of your world in small, simple, and enjoyable ways. And when learning is fun, guess what? You want to keep going. You stay motivated. You stay consistent. And that's where real progress happens. Of course, this doesn't mean you should never look at grammar or vocabulary, but instead of making those the center of your learning, you treat them as tools, not the main event. You let communication be your focus. You aim to understand and be understood, even if your English isn't perfect. And that's okay. In fact, some of the most successful English learners I've met didn't study for hours. They simply made English part of their daily lives. They talked to themselves in English while walking. They listened to English music and repeated the lyrics. They watched shows and paused to repeat phrases. Over time, their confidence grew, and so did their skills. So remember this: effortless English is not lazy. It's smart. It's not about avoiding learning. It's about learning in a way that feels easy, enjoyable, and real. When you remove the stress and make English something you live, not just study, you'll start to see amazing results. And that's what we're here for, right? To make learning English not just something you do, but something you love. Let's talk about something that is absolutely key to your journey of learning English: your mindset. If you want to learn English in an effortless way, you need to understand how powerful your mindset is. It's not just about the methods you use or the materials you study. It's about how you approach the process itself. So, what does it mean to have the right mindset for learning English? Well, let me tell you, the way you think about English learning can be a game changer. One of the most common challenges I see among English learners is the fear of making mistakes. Many people believe that making mistakes is something to be avoided at all costs, and this fear can make learning feel harder than it needs to be. But here's the truth: mistakes are your best friend in the learning process. Yes, you heard me right. Mistakes are valuable. When we fear mistakes, we hold ourselves back. We avoid speaking because we're afraid we'll say something wrong. We hesitate to try new things because we don't want to look bad or unprepared. But the reality is that mistakes are simply steps along the path to mastery. Every time you make a mistake, you're actually learning. You're figuring out what works, what doesn't, and how to improve. So, the next time you make a mistake, don't be hard on yourself. Celebrate it. Each mistake is an opportunity for growth. Now, let's talk about consistency. One of the most powerful things you can do for your English learning is to be consistent. This doesn't mean you have to study for hours every day, but it does mean you need to make a habit of using English regularly. Even 10 to 15 minutes of practice every day can make a huge difference over time. Think about it this way: if you practice a little every day, you're building momentum, and that momentum will carry you forward. It's like planting a seed. If you water it a little bit every day, it will grow. Consistency is much more important than perfection. Too many learners get stuck in the trap of trying to be perfect. They want to say everything correctly, use perfect grammar, and sound exactly like a native speaker. But here's the thing: perfection is the enemy of progress. When you focus too much on getting everything right, you'll find yourself overwhelmed and frustrated. Instead, focus on making progress. Don't aim for perfection, aim for improvement. Even if you only improve by 1% each day, over time, you'll see massive progress. And that's what matters. Next, let's talk about pressure. One of the main reasons many learners struggle with English is because they feel pressured to reach certain milestones quickly. Maybe you've set a goal to be fluent by a certain date, or you're comparing yourself to others who seem to be learning faster. But here's the thing: learning a language is not a race, it's a journey, and everyone moves at their own pace. There's no right timeline for learning English. Instead of focusing on when you'll be fluent, focus on the daily habits that will help you get there. Enjoy the process, rather than stressing about how quickly you can get to the destination. Let go of the pressure and focus on creating an enjoyable experience. English should be fun, not stressful. If you take the pressure off yourself and simply enjoy the learning process, you'll notice how much easier it becomes to improve. So, here's a quick recap of the key mindset shifts for effortless learning. Don't fear mistakes. Embrace them as part of the learning process. Be consistent, not perfect. A little practice every day goes a long way. Focus on daily practice, not pressure. Enjoy the process, and the progress will come. When you make these mindset shifts, you'll feel more relaxed, motivated, and empowered in your English learning. Remember, English is not about being perfect. It's about enjoying the journey, staying consistent, and celebrating your progress every step of the way. The mindset you carry into this journey will make all the difference. So, take a deep breath, let go of the pressure, and start thinking about English learning as a fun, natural part of your life. You are capable of more than you think. The key is to trust yourself, enjoy the process, and keep going, one step at a time. Now that we've talked about mindset, it's time to bring that mindset into your daily life. Remember, learning English effortlessly means you're not forcing it. You're simply living with it. So, let's look at some simple habits that you can add to your everyday routine to start learning English naturally, without pressure. These are the habits I personally recommend, and they've helped many of my students. And they can help you too. One of the easiest and most effective habits you can start today is listening to English while doing your normal daily activities. This could be anything: washing the dishes, walking your dog, making breakfast, or even cleaning your room. You don't need to sit at a desk or take notes. Just hit play on a podcast, an audiobook, or a YouTube video in English and let the language fill your ears. Even if you don't understand everything, that's okay. Your brain is learning. It's getting used to the rhythm, sounds, and flow of English. Over time, your understanding will grow naturally, without stress or pressure. It's like learning a song by hearing it every day. At first, you don't get all the words, but after a while, you can sing along. Talk to yourself in English. This might feel silly at first, but trust me, it's powerful. Talking to yourself in English helps your brain practice forming sentences and thinking in English. Try it while you're alone. Describe what you're doing, express how you feel, or talk about your plans for the day. For example, if you're getting dressed, you might say, "Okay, I'm going to wear this blue shirt today." It's a little cold. Maybe I should wear a jacket too. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be English. This simple habit helps you become more comfortable with speaking, and it builds your confidence to speak out loud. You're practicing your fluency without anyone judging you, and that's a great way to grow. Change your device language to English. This one is super easy and really effective. Change the language on your phone, tablet, or computer to English. Why? Because you use these devices every day. And when you see words like settings, gallery, battery, messages, and search in English, you start learning them naturally, just through daily use. This small change surrounds you with English in a way that feels effortless. You don't need to study vocabulary lists because the words are right there, in your daily routine. Over time, they become familiar, and you start thinking in English more often. Watch English shows or YouTube videos with subtitles. Entertainment is a goldmine for language learning. One of the most fun and effective habits is to watch English TV shows, movies, or YouTube videos with English subtitles. Pick something you enjoy: a comedy, a cooking show, travel vlog, or even cartoons. The key is to choose content that keeps you interested. Start with subtitles in English. This helps you connect the spoken words with how they're written. If the speech is too fast, pause and repeat. Try to understand phrases, expressions, and everyday vocabulary. Watching shows helps you understand how native speakers really talk, not textbook English. You'll hear real-life slang, tone, and emotions. You're not just learning English, you're feeling it. Use shadowing and mimicry for pronunciation. This is one of my favorite techniques, and it works wonders for improving your pronunciation and fluency. It's called shadowing. Here's how it works. You listen to a sentence or short phrase in English, and then immediately repeat it, trying to match the speaker's tone, rhythm, and pronunciation as closely as possible. You can pause the video or audio, repeat the sentence, then play it again and try to copy it like you're an actor rehearsing a script. This method trains your mouth, your ears, and your brain to work together. It also helps you sound more natural when speaking. You start picking up on things like intonation, the rise and fall of the voice, stress, which words are emphasized, and the natural speed of English speech. It's almost like singing along with your favorite song, but in English. By adding these habits to your daily life, you make English part of your world, without needing a classroom or heavy books. The goal isn't perfection. The goal is exposure, practice, and progress. And the best part? These habits don't take extra time. They fit into the life you're already living. That's why they're effortless. You're not finding time for English. You're just using English in the time you already have. So go ahead and try one or two of these today. Start small. Be patient with yourself. And most of all, have fun. Because when English is fun, you'll never want to stop learning. Let's be honest. No one likes boring lessons. And if learning English starts to feel like a chore, you'll probably avoid it. That's why one of the biggest secrets to effortless English is this: make it fun. When you enjoy something, your brain stays active and engaged. You don't even realize you're learning because it doesn't feel like work, it feels like play. So, how do we keep learning fun? First, learn with songs, stories, and podcasts. Music is an incredible tool for language learning. The rhythm, repetition, and emotion in songs help you remember words and phrases. Find English songs you like. whether it's pop, rock, or something slower and more relaxing. Try reading the lyrics while you listen and then sing along. Don't worry about your voice. It's all about your ears and your mouth getting used to English sounds. Stories are also powerful. Whether it's a simple children's book, a short story, or an audio drama podcast, stories make language come alive. You learn grammar, vocabulary, and even culture, all in one. And because stories are interesting, your brain stays curious. You want to know what happens next, so you keep listening or reading. Podcasts, like this one, are another great way to learn. You can listen while you cook, walk, or ride the bus. There are podcasts about every topic: self-improvement, travel, food, science, whatever you're into. There's something out there for you in English. The next tip is to pick topics that excite you. What are you passionate about? Cooking, travel, technology, fashion, business? Follow YouTube channels or blogs in English that focus on your favorite hobbies. When you're interested in the topic, you forget you're learning a language. You're just enjoying the content. That's the best kind of effortless learning. Also, don't be afraid to mix your entertainment with learning. Watch movies or TV shows in English. At first, use subtitles. Over time, challenge yourself to listen without them. You'll be surprised how much you can understand just by context, tone, and body language. And here's another great idea. Play games in English. Many popular mobile and computer games are available in English. Games are fun, they keep you motivated, and they give you a lot of everyday vocabulary. Some even have chat features where you can interact with other players. Great speaking practice. Now let's talk about people. Learning is more fun when it's social. Try to find English-speaking friends or online groups where you can practice. There are apps like Tandem, HelloTalk, or even Facebook and Reddit communities made just for English learners. You don't need to be perfect to talk with others. In fact, that's how you get better, by using the language. The goal is to create an environment around you that makes English a natural, enjoyable part of your life. If you're having fun, you'll keep coming back, and that's the real secret to long-term progress. Before we wrap up today's episode, I want to speak to your heart for a moment. You are already capable of learning English. You don't need to be a genius. You don't need perfect grammar. You don't need to study for hours a day. What you need is belief in yourself, a little daily action, and the right mindset. The journey to fluency is different for everyone. It doesn't matter how fast you go. It matters that you keep going. And along the way, be kind to yourself. Celebrate the small wins. Be proud of the effort you're making. If you listened to a podcast today, that's a win. If you spoke one sentence to yourself in English, that's a win. Every step forward counts. Remember, English doesn't have to be hard. It can be part of your life, part of your fun, part of your world. You don't need to do it the traditional way. You can do it your way. So here's my challenge to you. Try just one effortless English habit today. Pick your favorite tip from this episode. Maybe you'll change your phone's language to English. Maybe you'll find a podcast to listen to during lunch. Maybe you'll talk to yourself while making coffee. It doesn't matter what you choose. Just take that first step. And tomorrow, take another. This is Sarah from SpeakEasy English, and I believe in you. You've got everything it takes to succeed. Keep going, keep smiling, and remember, learning English can be easy, natural, and yes, effortless. Thank you for joining me today. I'll see you in the next episode. Until then, Keep speaking, keep listening, and most of all, keep enjoying the journey. Thank you so much for joining me today on Speak Easy English. I'm truly grateful that you spent your time with me, and I hope this episode gave you new ideas and fresh motivation to make English a part of your everyday life, without stress, without pressure, and with a lot more joy. Remember, learning English doesn't have to be hard. With the right mindset and some small daily habits, you can create a natural and enjoyable learning experience that actually fits your lifestyle. Whether it's listening to music, watching shows, or just talking to yourself while brushing your teeth, every little effort counts. You're already on the right path just by being here today. If you enjoyed this episode, it would mean the world to me if you could follow or subscribe to the podcast. That way, you'll never miss a new episode. And if you found today's tips helpful, please consider sharing this podcast with a friend who's also learning English. Together, we can build a positive and supportive learning community, one that believes English can be fun, easy, and yes, effortless. I'd also love to hear from you. Feel free to send me a message or leave a comment telling me which tip you're going to try first. Are you changing your phone language? Starting with songs? Talking to yourself in English? I want to know what you're doing to make English part of your life. Now, before we wrap up completely, let me give you a sneak peek into the next episode. And trust me, you won't want to miss it. In our upcoming episode, we're diving into one of the most powerful ways to boost your fluency: how to think in English. Yes, that's right. We'll talk about what it really means to think in English, why it helps you speak faster and more naturally, and how you can start training your brain to do it, step by step. So don't forget to tune in next time on Speak Easy English. I'm Sarah, and I'll be here cheering you on every step of the way. Until then, keep learning, keep smiling, and most of all, keep speaking from the heart. English is already inside you. Let's bring it out together. Talk to you soon.